Oh, we're live. Oh my gosh. Hey, everyone tuning in, which I don't think anyone's tuning in quite yet, but we just started going live. I'm Robbie Couch from Views from the Couch. Welcome to my hotel room. Isn't this exciting? So I am actually live this week. If you guys have watched weekend reviews from past weeks, usually they aren't live. Last week we tried doing something where it was recorded live, but then we published it right after it was recorded. But this week we're like live, so it's actually happening right now. This is kind of crazy, kind of terrifying, but really fun too. So yeah, as I mentioned, I am in a hotel room. I'm not in my apartment, which I'm usually in to do weekend reviews and views from the couch. I'm in Orlando, and I'm here for Playlist Live, which if you guys don't know what Playlist Live is, it's basically this huge event where creators from all over the country and maybe world come here to network, to talk about different creative pursuits, to talk about the industry, to meet each other, to meet a bunch of creators who have big followings. There's a lot of really great people here. I'm really excited. This is my first time at Playlist Live ever. So I'm kind of like a newbie wandering around, like unsure what's going on, but it's been really fun. I sort of feel really old because I just turned 30, and I feel like everyone's between the ages of like 13 and 19. Not everyone, but maybe 80%. I don't know. But it's still really fun. I've only gone to one session so far this, but it was really useful and fun just to get into a space with people who have like similar goals in mind and like similar interests. So it's been really great. And yeah, so I'm in a hotel room. I don't know. I was going to give you a hotel room tour, but then I was like, it's kind of your standard hotel room. Like, there's where I slept last night. There's the carpet. I guess the view's kind of cool. Let's see if it shows up in the, it might just be like a bright light on the camera. Okay. So there's a rooftop of the hotel. But then you can kind of see off into the distance, Orlando, a few palm trees. I think there's some palm trees out there. The resort is really nice. And so, yeah, I'm excited to be here. One kind of downside thing to being here was I landed last night, and I was like, okay, so to back up, on Wednesday, I was like, there's sort of a tickle in my throat, like something's happening a little bit, and I noticed it was like a little bit difficult, like I was having some difficulty swallowing, like a little bit. On Wednesday, I think I started noticing it. Yesterday, it maybe got a little worse, but it still wasn't terrible. And then when I got off my flight from Denver to Orlando last night, I was like, something's up. Like, it's hard to swallow. And don't get X-rated on me, guys. I just mean it literally was hard for me to swallow, like, drinks and food. And so then I went to the bathroom here, and I put the light from my phone in my throat, and I saw that my tonsil on my right side is huge. And I was like, what's going on? Because I always thought, and I'm just ignorant and stupid, but I always thought like tonsillitis and tonsil issues were something that kids dealt with. And then once you were like into your 20s, like if you didn't have any tonsil issues, you're good to go. But then I was Googling around, and I guess adults can have tonsil issues and tonsillitis. And I'm kind of like, oh my gosh. So I'm still trying to figure out what exactly I have. I'm not sure. I've been like on WebMD and reaching out to my like doctor friends, and they are like, just go see a doctor, figure it out. So far, I feel okay. It's just sort of hard to swallow, but I don't have a fever. I'm not like about to pass out. Like, I feel okay overall. So I'm just gonna wing it. So what else do I want to talk about? So if you guys have watched my past weekend reviews, I usually like kind of recap the week and talk about the big news items that happened, trending stuff, big things in the news. But there was so much negative stuff this week. Like, I was parsing through all of it, and I was like, okay, there was the Michael Cohen testimony in front of Congress that was all over the news, and people probably don't want to hear about that. There was the North Korean shit show that happened, which was, of course, Trump going to North Korea, failing on the world stage, essentially, and returning home with nothing to show for it. So that's like, who wants to talk about that boring stuff? And then there was the voter fraud situation in North Carolina, which was important, but also kind of a Debbie Downer thing. It was just a Debbie Downer week. And so I was like, what the hell am I going to talk about? So I remembered that the Oscars were last weekend, And for those of you who have watched Views from the Couch since the beginning, which it's only a month old, so it hasn't been that long, but my very first episode that I did for Views from the Couch was about the Oscars, and it was about Oscar diversity. And it kind of dove into the Oscars So White controversy and why it mattered and why media representation was important, and kind of explored the different like flaws in the system that lead to the nominees and the winners being overwhelmingly white. And so that was the very first episode that I did a few weeks ago. And sorry, I just burped up my coffee. And the Oscars were, of course, last week, and it was a big night for diversity and inclusiveness, which was kind of the whole point of my first episode. So that was really cool to see. And yes, I am taking credit for it because of Views from the Couch. Diversity won at the Oscars. That's what I'm saying. No, but it was really cool to see a lot of big wins. Spike Lee won for Best Adapted Screenplay, which was huge. Ruthie Carter, oh my God. She won for Best Costume Design for Black Panther, and she was actually the first African-American woman to win in that category. That was huge. That was super, super exciting. If you've seen Black Panther, like, duh, of course she should win. Who else did big? Regina King won for Best Supporting Actress, Beale Street Could Talk. So there was a lot of really big wins, a lot of really exciting stuff that happened, which is really cool to see because that stuff is important to a lot of people, including me. And something else to note, ratings were actually up, I believe 12% since last year. And that was really cool to see because if you look from a historical perspective, the more diverse for a particular year and more inclusive the nominees are, the higher the ratings are usually. Like there's usually a correlation between the two things, which proves that being inclusive and being diverse is also really good for business. So that was really awesome to see. So anyways, there's a lot of negative stuff happening in the news, but that was kind of a good thing to end it on. I am here again at Playlist Live in Orlando. Come say hi if you see me wandering around and you feel like saying hi. I'm going to be wearing this big yellow shirt, and hopefully you won't notice any like gross stuff in my throat from my tonsillitis that I may or may not have. But anyways, all right, have a great weekend, you guys, and I will see you next week. See ya.